I'm going to show you two sentences. Do not analyze them, just notice your reaction, okay? The child opened the door. Open the door, the child. Okay? The child opened the door. Open the child the door. You probably decided almost instantly that the second sentence sounds wrong. Now, here is the hard part. Prove why. Why did you think the second sentence sounds wrong? What rule did it break? Because you didn't pull out a grammar book, you didn't identify a subject, locate the verb, do any linguistics analysis, but instantly your brain reached a verdict, okay? Before you could even explain the, let's say, the idea behind it. So here is a question that we're going to spend some time on today. How do you know a rule that, as far as you can remember, nobody ever taught you? Okay. Even better, when a sentence sounds wrong, can you always trust that feeling? When you're talking, you feel like a sentence sounds wrong. Can you always trust that feeling? Welcome to Linguistica Lab, a place for language, research, and intellectual growth. Today, we are investigating a kind of knowledge that we use constantly and probably can't describe. We are going to look at the actual experiment that linguists run to make sure that when someone says, that sounds wrong, and this is not just about the person that is talking, but that is telling us more about the grammar itself, not just the person that is saying, that sounds wrong. Okay? I hope that makes some sense. By the end of this video, you will be able to demonstrate by yourself, hopefully, that you are carrying around a hidden grammatical system, something that you have here. And I will give you two words throughout this video, and they are words that you can use anywhere, from a seminar room to a job interview or when you are talking with your friends or your colleagues. The first word is tacit. The second one is systematic. Tacit, systematic. Do not memorize them yet. You will understand both because we will give you some examples and ideas on when and where to use it. Okay? Now, let's get started with the pattern that you've been using without even noticing it. Okay? Let's take a look at a sentence. When you say something like, Maria placed the book on the table. Okay? Right now you feel this sentence sounds complete. Maria placed the book on the table. What if I say, Maria placed the book? I think you will agree with me that this sentence feels unfinished, okay? Because you're probably waiting for something else. Maria placed the book, like, where? And that reaction is telling us something specific, because you know that this verb we used, place, requires more than just the thing that is being placed, but also a location, like where it is being placed. When I say Maria placed the book, you are expecting me to tell you where Maria placed that book. Okay? Now, let me give you another sentence. If I say Maria read a book, this sentence by itself is enough. You're not expecting me to give you more information. Maria read the book, that's it. You can add a location if you want to. You can say Maria read the book in the library, but the last part of this sentence is not really relevant. You can use the sentence without having to add a direction. So you can see place and read has different argument structure. When we're talking about argument structure, here is what it means. It means the set of participant. A verb requires or allows. Now, nobody handing you a chart listing the argument structure of every English verb, but you navigating hundreds of this distinction without thinking. You know them without even being aware that you know them. Now, try this sentence. I know I'm giving you a lot of sentences right now, but I want you to see something different. If I say, she explained, she explained the problem to me. But if I say, she explained me the problem, I think it sounds a little bit weird. But you can say, she told me the problem. But what we see here is that explain and tell is different. You may not be able to state the rule, but your reaction proves that you have a set of rules or a set of patterns already in your head or in your brain. And that brings us to our first vocabulary word, tacit. Tacit means known or understood without being directly stated. You already use tacit knowledge in social life. Nobody announced the rule, but everyone somehow knows it, okay? Linguistics knowledge work the same way. You can follow a rule without being able to describe it, okay? And reject a sentence without knowing the technical reason. Beginning in the 1950s, the linguist Noam Chomsky argued that linguistics should study exactly this mental system that let speakers produce, okay, and understand sentences they have never heard before. In his 1965 books, which is Aspects of the Theory of Syntax, you can look it up if you want to, Chomsky drew a distinction that still, to some extent, organizes the field. Competence, which is your underlying grammatical knowledge, okay, versus performance, which is everything that affects how that knowledge get used in a real time conversation, okay? Again, competence is your underlying grammatical knowledge, but performance is everything that happens when you are actually use that knowledge in real time, such as memory limits, distraction, a sentence that's simply too long to hold in your head at once. Those are some examples of performance. That distinction raises an obvious problem. If your knowledge is tacit, okay, if you can't just describe it on request, how does anyone go about studying it scientifically, like linguists do? So, one window is your reaction to your sentence. But we're about to find out that when that window isn't perfectly clear or clear glass, okay? Because there is what you can say, there is your reaction, but also there is the grammar by itself. Okay. Now, I want you to judge another sentence. For example, if I say, what did Elena buy? Okay. Now, what did Elena wondered Marcus bought? You can reconstruct the meaning, but I can say you might feel like something is wrong. The sentence feels heavy. That's not it. Now, another sentence. The professor who the student admired arrived. But let me give you a denser sentence. It's going to be the last one for now. The professor who the student who the dean praised, admired, arrived. That one feels much harder to hold together, right? Here is the real question, and it is an important one. Does difficulty automatically mean a sentence breaks the grammar? Not necessarily, I would say. And this is why linguistics distinguish grammaticality, which is whether a structure is actually licensed by the grammar, from acceptability, which is how natural a sentence feels to a speaker in the moment. And acceptability judgment is it's valuable evidence, okay? But it is not a photograph of the grammar. Think of it like, let's say, a thermometer, okay? It gives you real information, but the reading can be thrown off by where you place it. Let's say a sentence can feel bad because it's genuinely ungrammatical, or because it's too long, or hard to remember, semantically strange, right? Or the sentence missed the context, or the sentence is just difficult to process in real time. Does that mean it is violating the grammar? So grammar is one input among several. Okay, I'm gonna give you another pair of sentences. I'm taking this pair from Chomsky 1957 book, Syntactic Structures, precisely to make this point that I'm talking about right now. Colorless green ideas sleep furiously. Furiously sleep ideas green colorlessly. You may have encountered these two sentences. Both sounds strange, right? But only one is actually grammatical. The first obeys every rules of English grammar. Okay? English word order, which is subject, verb, adverb. Everything is correctly assembled, even though the sentence is nonsense on a semantic level. Because nothing can be both. Okay, let's be clear. Nothing can be both colorless and green. And come on, ideas don't sleep. So the second sentence breaks the word order itself. This is exactly the kind of noise, I would say, that we need to filter because we need to be able to separate the grammar from when it doesn't really mean anything. For decades, that created a real methodological headache. Now, a linguist can invent a sentence or just dislike it or declares that the grammar prohibits it. Carson Schutze raised exactly this concern in his 1996 book, The Empirical Base of Linguistics, which was reprinted by Linguist Science Press in 2016, arguing that what the field occasionally called a grammaticality judgment is usually more honestly an acceptability judgment that is shaped by grammatical and non-grammatical factors at the same time. So, does that mean decades of linguists leaning on their own intuition were on shaky ground? Probably not. And we have a paper that actually proves that, okay? It has been tested. In 2013, John Spruce, Carson Schutze, and Diego Almeida set out to check the field intuitions against control data at scale. So here's what they did. They pulled 296 data points at random from the journal Linguistic Inquiry. Sentences linguists had judged from Intuition 2001 and 2010. They retested every single one with 936 participants using three separate independent experimental methods, like magnitude estimation, 7-point grading scale, and forced choice comparison. You know what the result showed? Roughly 95% convergent were right. Only 5% were incorrect. Does that mean intuition or informal intuition is infallible? Probably not. Nobody claims that here. But it's evidence that most of the time, it's remarkably trustworthy. Our intuition matters, while giving researchers a precise way to flag the roughly 1 in 20 cases where it isn't. Okay? It also means experimental methods is exactly what led you to find the 5%, for example, in this research that don't. So your intuition matter. It is evidence, but it is not by itself or a verdict. Is what you need to know. Knowing a language means being sensitive to patterns. Studying that language means investigating your reaction to them, those patterns, not simply trusting them at face value. Now, let's see how much hidden knowledge you have. Are you ready? Okay. I want you to picture a creature you've never seen. Let me call it Dax. Okay, DAX. That creature that you're thinking about, the name is Dax, DAX. Now, there are two of them. I want you to finish this sentence. A Dax, there are two of them. There are two. You almost instantly said daxes, right? Nobody taught you that, right? And I would say 30 seconds ago, the word dax didn't even exist in your vocabulary at all. You didn't retrieve daxes from memory. You built it on the spot, right? From a pattern. This experiment traces directly back to Jean Berkel's landmark 1958 study, published in the journal Word, and now universally called or known as the WOG test. Here's what happened. Berkel showed children invented word, let's say WOG, wig, gutch, those were some of the words, and asked them to produce plurals, past tense, positives. And if a child produced the correct form, simple imitation couldn't explain it. You know why? Because there was nothing to imitate. The words has never existed before that afternoon. The child had generalized a pattern to a case that had literally never come up before. Do you get that? But the pattern is more intricate than English spelling later on, okay? Let's take a look at other plurals. For example, we have cats, dogs, or buses. Cats, dogs, buses. If you're writing them down on a page, you're gonna see you just add an S out loud, but they don't really match if you're pronouncing them, because cats and an S sound, dogs in a Z sound, and buses gets, I would say, an extra vowel. Buses. These are different spoken version of the same plural marker, and Linguists call them allomorphs. Okay? What is that? Which one you use depends almost entirely on the final sound of the noun it is attached to. Nobody sits a 5-year down and lecture them on this distribution. They absorbed it anyway. Even better, nobody sat you down for that phonological lecture as a child. You produced and recognized the pattern anyway. You see it? That brings us to the second word, systematic. Systematic means organized according to a recurring set of principles, not perfectly regular, not free of exceptions, but not random either. When a linguist says a variation is systematic, that means it's constrained. Certain outcomes happen, certain ones don't. The difference follows or patterns that you can actually describe once you look for it. You can see it. You can find it. Okay. You can use systematic like this in your own writing. You can say something like, the variation is not random, it is systematic. You can say, the data reveal a systematic relationship between the sound and the grammatical environment. Now, here's where we have arrived, okay? Tacit knowledge is knowledge you carry and use without being necessarily able to explain it. A systematic pattern is one organized by recurring principles, not by accident, okay? Now, your ability to produce daxes, remember the creature we talked about earlier, that demonstrate tacit knowledge of a systematic pattern. And trust me, that is not a small thing. It means the instant verdict you gave at the start of the video of the 2 sentences I gave you when I said, open the child the door. It was not a guess. It was the output of a system. But we have only pushed the mystery back one step, okay? If nobody explicitly taught you that pattern, where did it come from? That question has divided linguists for decades, and it's about to get a lot more complicated because the same instinct verdict reflects that correctly flags opened the child daughter sentence as odd is also the reflex that gets misused every day to dismiss entirely dialects or entire languages as broken. In the next video, we are going to find out where that hidden knowledge comes from. Why sound wrong can be really wrong when it's about judging someone else's grammar. And whether a machine, I'm thinking about artificial intelligence, may have anything related to the tacit knowledge you were able to demonstrate it. Now, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious.